Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Solar Nations 2 as we attempt to try to win as a red Marxist Mars. We've got our Martian Solar Republic here. End of the last stream, we did get up to about 50%. Well, our alliance, us included with the rest of them, got up to about 50% of all the prestige in the solar system. And that has gotten us, as a side effect, quite close to victory. We're not quite there yet. We haven't won yet, but victory, I think we need 2/3. We need, let's say, 67%. So 50% of all of it, and we need to get 67%. On the other hand, we also proved at the end of the last one that we can't just do that by deploying the army. Because we've deployed the army, and that's what got us to 50%. So we're going to be focusing most of today's stream on growing the economy, because there's two parts that make up the prestige here, economy and military. And at least until we get more people and more industry, we can't really expand the army very much more. In fact, right now we're importing industry, which is unusual. Most of the game we've been exporting it. So we'll have to change that up. Also, just a reminder, in the background, I'm running the Stellaris music as the background music here. So with that, let's sort of get to sort of planning out and playing up the game. I have enough culture here that I can pick up culture abilities. We're gonna go down diplomatic, plus effectively summative 15 more diplomacy. Plus the diplomatic capacity here will allow us to do a little more diplomatic integrations than we would have previously. And if I get people to like me enough, I can drag them into the United Revolutionary Front. And because of the high fervor on the Revolutionary Front here, we have effectively spread them to our alignment. We're dragging them towards being Marxist, which lowers the requirements for us to integrate them as well. So yeah, we're going to work down diplomatic. I may replace easygoing when we get to the end of it into diplomatic. Depends on how close we are to the turn of the century here. But there we go. Grab the first two of these. Not that necessarily assimilation is super valuable to us. Although the clergy loyalty isn't too bad. I'm not necessarily making great use of it because we're still either way we're over 60% there. Resource tax wise, go ahead and just keep that up to, oh, that's happens to be capped at 49 anyway, and then we want to keep those guys above 40. Okay. Do I currently have a colony? I do currently have a colony under root, under growth. So let's unpause and let things pass, let things progress. Oh, I suppose we can check up on the diplomacy. So we just get another 5. So if we sort by diplomacy, we can't integrate with Beijing because they're too big. European Economic Zone is again too big. Minus 999 there. Next closest is 43.4 with Yoruba here. Let's go and invite them to the United Revolutionary Front. That will help us by sort of making them more Marxist by letting them in, assuming they get let in. The other thing we can do, and I think I already am doing it, is we're probably running espionage on them. We've got curry favors going. We don't have enough yet for political infiltration. I should probably, if I'm going to be multitasking like this, I should turn the game speed down. So let's turn the game speed down a little bit. So that means once I get enough favors. In fact, I probably will have it as soon as we're done with the organization role here. We can use favors to get them. Basically, we're raising in relations all of these people. Again, the goal is to get the combination of favors and opinion to 50. Not all of them are we running. Well, not all of them we have enough spies on yet to do the curry favors, which is what we're going to aim for first. In fact, Yoruba is the only one we're doing curry favors on at the moment. The rest of them we're just building spy networks. Got to get to 25%, I believe. Again, hitting a larger, or noisier portion of the Stellaris soundtrack here. think it's just the one song that is particularly loud, if I remember correctly. So if we were running high opinion with the corporate faction, we could do mega urbanization. Not necessarily going to do it. We did here for climatization, more habitability, more stability growth for factions, additional new pop growth, and we're immediately going into the next one. So basically, for the moment, I think we grab all the tech we want from the tech portion of the tree. Once we get enough to pick up metaphysical engineering, we'll pick more up. Because the main line, basically we're going down all these lines. Not necessarily going as much into the neural networking and the bio stuff. Now, culture, we just finished up climatization 3, which is habitability, as I said earlier. We're in climatization 4. Again, more habitability, more stability gain from factions, more top growth. And that will be one of the 17 required for this. So I'll take it from 5 to 6. I think we're mostly working the culture tree at this point. This is maybe going to be a little slow. Industry shorts, let's sort that. I do need to buy up and build more industry. Our stability is still growing. I forget what stability provides. For just having stability offhand. It doesn't necessarily tell me here, apparently. We spend it on stuff, mostly. So, might be approaching a point where I want to be thinking about war. Because I've spent most of what I want to spend. Oh, apparently the theocrats are strong enough I could give them another policy, but we're not going to. Technocrats. Negative X from debt as well, yeah. It's taking this colony so long to integrate. No, it's just really slow. Presumably because it's a really big place on Callisto. Oh, there's a load-unload glitch. I'll finish abusing it here. One of the glitches in the game is if you load and unload, you can continue to put more infrastructure, spend more money to put infrastructure into those things. You're not actually supposed to be able to do that. So I think it ran a glitch there. Grab habitation, steel refinery. This is a planet, so I'm not going to do a spaceport right away. Then let's grab another colony location, expansion. Still sorting basically off of iron. So iron. Oh, and limited to in-range. I don't want to be trying to colonize places I can't colonize. So Europa here is the next best one, so we're going to send colonists, we're going to survey the place, and then we're going to build the infrastructure. Now, and we can build out to 6 infrastructure, getting us 30% complete right away. This one will go a little bit faster than the last one. And then let's get to construction. So space habitation, if it isn't done anywhere, I would like to do. We have it done everywhere. Infrastructure, if it isn't done. Actually, do I do? No, I'm going to do biology, genetic materials factory next. The reason is because I want another 1,000 or so for terraforming Mars. I'm going to sort by cost. Lowest cost first. And then I'm going to shift, get the right button, shift construct 5. And this should thus build cheapest to most expensive, and I'm going to spend either until we run out of places to build it or 20 million, whichever comes first. It is going to progressively, as we do it, get more and more expensive. Maybe it might not go 20 million. I'll go 8 million instead with that. So it'll be done in about 2 years working through the debt. be fair, that's probably enough to finish up the terraforming of Mars. We've got the bioformer there, we got the bioformer there. So those two bioformers, that's going to eat most of what we have, and hopefully the genetic factories that we got going here will provide us enough for the third and final bioformer so we can finish the Mars terraformation process. And this was without I can turn the game speed up again, because we're also going to be watching the colony progress and the debt state. Got enough culture to grab another diplomatic. Integration costs down. Oh, we're already up to 54%, so we're still trending up, which is good to see. One concern I have now that we're over 50% is that we might start trending down as other people aren't necessarily catching up with us, or without maybe remaining in parity with us, as far as growth rate is concerned, which at this point would be enough for us to trend down. Okay, so here, space habitation into steel refinery, you away, grab another colony location. Expansion, next best steel deposit, then colonist, survey. And I have to prove each of these, but we're going to build 6 infrastructure. And that's because I'm in debt. Having to prove because I'm in debt. If you're not in debt, you just smack the button 6 times, and, well, smack the button however many times of infrastructure levels you have, and you get the results. There we go. Okay, so it looks like the first one is done, and I should have enough. I have the first one done to get the second one done. So let me find where I want it. So I want it here. It doesn't matter where I put it on my side. I'm just putting my terraforming stuff together, right? So we've got hydroformer, atmosphoremer, and then the last one here is the bioformer. So in fact, I can move that up. Can I grab and move you up? There you go. So in 12 years, we will have terraforming Mars in Solar Nations 2. Someone else is being requested to come in, so vote for them to come in. I'm getting told my stability is high, which is true. My stability is high. Oh, my industry is a little bit negative again. Probably due to population growth, if I were to guess. Okay, that vote on the United Revolutionary Front is done. So you were waiting until I've got either 8 favors, or until their ideology shifts Marxist enough from exposure to the Revolutionary Front that they become integratable. So invite you to the United Revolutionary Front again, to sort of drag them into being more Marxist. The other alternative is get to the end of the culture tree. The end of the culture tree, I think, is another, or not the end of the tree, the culture tree. The end of the culture traits. It's master diplomacy is on the +10. That would allow me to integrate them as well. And then diplomacy-wise, so anyone under -10 right now, based on the traits I'm going for, I should be able to diplomatically integrate. So the Kingdom of Europa, for example, would be in potential play. So we'll improve and spy on them. Same thing with Taiwan. Australia with -15 is probably a little too far gone. Although they may be close enough that if I dragged them to the United Revolutionary Front, they would, with the Marxist shift, be doable. Okay, this area is done. Space habitation, steel refinery. Select our next expansion location. Send colonist, survey, Build infrastructure, build infrastructure, build infrastructure. 6 times in a row. This one's one of the sort of the fast end of them, which is good to see. And then I'm currently back positive in money, so it's time to get back to generalized building. Probably want to run back down to about negative 8 million again. Skip once more, just do a quick double check, make sure space habitation's everywhere. Technically I've built this in places that it's not useful to build it because it already has 100% habitation, but more habitability in places that don't is good because it lets more people live them. Next, because I'm not looking for stuff for terraforming, the next thing I'm going to do is expand the infrastructure because it provides a project build cost reduction, so it'll make all the future projects cheaper. Yeah, that's the logic on there. Also makes the future projects faster. So again, I'm going to go from cheapest to most expensive with the macro builder, and we're just going to click until I'm down to negative 8 million. Or run out of structures. Okay, so we ran out of structures, that is fine. Next, steel refineries. Let's do highest level to lowest level. Get a macro build again until I am either 8 million in debt or we run out of places to build it. Run out of places to build it. Okay. That'll help with industry. Steel refineries scale off of deposit level. So some of the places it might only be like level 1. Because I just built it everywhere and built it from best to worst. Could do factories. I'm going to hold off on factories. I think we go... do resource extraction next. Because again, I just built steel... I know I have steel refineries everywhere. Yeah, sure. Let's do next. Sort by benefit or by cost. That sounds like a great plan. And then once again, I'm gonna macro build these until we're 8 million in debt. We'll run out of places to build them. They do get more expensive the more you build, so I actually kind of overshot a little bit there, but it's fine. Unpause, let time pass, let the revenue increase. Grab the next one, diplomatic. Bonus unity. I think that's bonus this unity, not bonus this unity. Yep, 20% more research is not bad. We got... Is that 2 unities right back to back? That's 2 unities back to back. Alliance building, thorough diplomacy, yeah. And we got war exhaustion penalty, which is the thing we probably do want to get rid of. And then plus 10 from opinion. Okay. Our vote in the United Revolutionary Front is about to end. I'm just assuming these are succeeding. They might not be. Oh, you're a new one. So we've got the Egyptian Collectivist Revolt. We will start improving relations, start building a spy network. We're not quite at the point where we can integrate them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're at war with the former owners. Aruba got still sitting on 6 favors. Needs 7 to integrate them. And Yoruba is the only one I think I can do curry favors on currently. Okay, I think that's the list for the moment. Improved relations there, but it hasn't been long enough to do much. Also trying to get my stability up. There it goes. Region done. Space habitation into steel refinery. Pick a new colony location, expansion. Mercury again. Send colonists survey. Build infrastructure, yes. bets. I'm gonna have to approve each and every one of these. One of these days I'm gonna have to... I think there's a hotkey that does yes on here. I haven't figured out what it is. There we go. So that's progressing. Mercury is one of the places... Well, I think it maybe depends on where I am. One of the places I'm like the slowest with this. Either they're big places or for whatever reason it's slow. Oh, I should start inviting the next person. It's Tunisia's in. I'm not going to bother with the existing Marxists. Turkey is next. Once I've done what I can to integrate people peacefully, we'll move on to starting to integrate people the not peaceful way. Like, we still technically have the northern ice cap is ruled by a foreign power. Well, the Martian Polar Front. They'll probably be the first people to invade. Simply just to end that independence. Okay. And space habitation in the steel refinery. Pick a new colonial location. Another one on Mercury. I know I can terraform Venus as well. I don't have enough of Venus. I only have... Because Venus requires more people to terraform, more locations to terraform it than Mars does. I think I only have half a dozen or so. 5. I need 10 to terraform Venus. And I suspect to get that many, I need to actually invade people on Venus. I can't terraform Venus for the Venetians. I need to take it to terraform it, which is what's been holding that up. Same time, I don't think it's been long enough. No, it hasn't been long enough. We've got 1 of the 3 done. Could probably check and see how close we are. There we go, 8.2 years to go. So, closer. The person either invited or failed to invite on to the next. That's an ask to join the India sphere, so I can't drag them into ours. Because they prefer the one they're in. I suppose it's perfectly fair. And Yoruba is still the only one I got enough spies on. Have I picked up a 7th favor? Nope, still sitting at 6. I need 7 or some more opinion from someplace else. Maybe for getting the end of the diplomatic tree is +10, so getting there would do it. Patience will solve that problem, solve that conundrum. Back in the green. I'm going to wait until this Mercury colony is done here, so I can save not having to click yes on all the building infrastructures for the next colony, where I run up the debt again. Expansion. You send colonists, survey, building infrastructure. Okay, I'm going to let 1 day pass so I can write the next person. Jamaica. Wait, Jamaica to the team. Got another one of these culture bits. More unity. And then we get into trying to spend some of our piles of money. I missed... We're going to build that there. Did I miss... might have forgot to put the steel refinery mine on the most recent colony. That makes sense. Okay. Oh, just teleport back to Mars. That works. There we go. Back on Mars. Then I'm going to spend the money. Okay, so that was the only space habitation. No infrastructure to do, for the moment at least. All the steel refineries are queued up and done. Let's do more resource extraction. Again, filter, benefit by cost, macro build. Still we're about 8 million in debt. And then we have pause. And that construction is generating me more industrial capacity, so we can go swap it back from importing it to exporting it. Go back to exporting it, because we were doing that previously. Zip some of my tea here, where we're looking for things to happen. Okay, we had that vote on person joining, and this colony is done. Base habitation, steel refining. Pick the next colony location. Mercury, again. Survey. Build infrastructure. At this point, the build infrastructure just drops in the bucket, so it's like, yeah, we're doing it. Max the infrastructure in the space as soon as we show up. I could technically do multiple in parallel for an extra stability cost malice, but I don't want to do that right now. Oh, did they not win the vote? Jamaica is not in. Or, no, Jamaica is in. I'm misreading that. The world is the European one. I happen to be the European one as well, but that one does not drag them into being Marxist, which doesn't serve our long-term goal. So we improve with you. Can't, so yeah, those three I can't do. That's me. Almost there on you. You, I think at the end of the year will be doable. And again, we see our debt come down pretty quickly. We're making 4 million in profit. Would like to make more. The more we make, the more I can Shanghai into making more, sort of solution. Okay, so once again, we're gonna get this colony done. I'm gonna do try to invite another person to the United Revolutionary Front, and I think we're at the point where we're gonna spend money again. So start space habitation, steel refinery, invite someone else. To the United Revolutionary Front. As we spread the red, spreading that red with that Marxist alignment. Next colony location, Mercury. Survey, because of course. Okay, and then we get back to generalized construction. We do a double check to make sure that the space habitation infrastructure is done, and they are. Steel refineries are done, and then resource extraction sorted by benefit per cost. And then macro build for about 8 billion in debt again. Nope, a little bit too far. Easy enough to bounce back from that. So I'm not going to be too concerned. more cultural policies, and we'll have that opinion, and allow us to diplomatically integrate a bunch more people. We're up to, or at least rounding up to 5 million at this point. As you can see, the negative there, development equilibrium and stability scale with how big the debt is relative to your current income, current revenue. So the more the revenue is, the bigger the debt I can run safely. Next colony done. So space habitation into steel refinery. The traitorous Beijing government has left our organization. United Revolutionary Front. They have no honor, they say. Okay. It doesn't actually matter as long as I say the World Economic Convergence, because that's the one that is winning for whatever reason. We could even just turn around and just fight them back in. We're not going to do that, but I could do that. Invite them to the United Revolutionary Front. Want to pop back to Mars, because I like looking at the red planet. Grab our next cultural trait. One more to go. And then I've got to decide I'll go down easygoing or save up for the new one at the end of the century. And the colony is done, so we're going to pick a new colony. Another one of Mercury. Mercury is mostly uncolonized at the start of the game, I believe. Due to it being, you know, Mercury. It's a bit hot there. Diplomacy-wise, the revolting faction that I was trying to diplomatically annex is gone. Presumably got put down. It was a revolt. Yoruba. I don't think the year hasn't ticked yet, so we still haven't picked up another point of opinion or anything with them. Really close, we just need like one more favor. One more favor and we can integrate them. And we'll unpause and continue to let things go. I think we can win here peacefully. We may even win before the half point in the stream. Because I'm actually trending up faster in prestige than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a bit more of a slog to get the economy growing fast enough. Two of the 3 biospheres are done for Mars, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the last step of terraforming Mars. Okay, we've either got our person joined or not. I think that's all the ones that are going to be viable to do right now. So I wanted to invite China back in. Oh, they even left the World Economic Convention. Not going to invite them in right now. I need more to bring in the real neutrals at this point. Okay. Oh, my industry went negative. Easy enough to fix. I just decide to export less, and the problem will fix itself. There we go. We are running on like utopic abundance for standard of living, so as our population grows, so too does my industrial needs. Space habitation, steel refinery. And let's get the next colony location. And colonist survey. Build a bunch of infrastructure out, and then we are positive in revenue, so it's time to just build in general. Space habitation is done. Infrastructure is done still. Steel refineries are done. We're going to continue to buff them with the resource extraction. Macro build until we're 10 mil in debt. And there is the last one in diplomatic. And yeah, I think we're close enough to the end of the era, or end of the century, that I will wait until the next century and grab the new one instead of filling out easygoing. Interesting that I'm in theory negative on manpower. Deficit's not very big, so I'm going to ignore it for the moment. So I think I can ignore it for the moment. Into diplomacy. So every place that is small enough to be diplo-annexed, so Turkey excluded, we can now diplo-annex. In comes Yoruba, in comes Tunisia. South Asia is almost there. Oh, South Asia can't even be integrated because they're too big. Country rank is too high. So they, in particular, we gotta just wait on. Although it probably does benefit if they're that big to keep them relatively friendly. Okay, again, we're gonna unpause and let some time pass. We are really close to getting some of these people integrated. I'm like 2 favors off of doing it, or a little bit of ideology swing from having them in the United Revolutionary Front. I think the United Revolutionary Front is just drift towards Marxist. Either that or it's only a very minor adjustment towards Marxist, in which case I'm going to be waiting for favors. Territory, we got some rest. Which faction have I pissed off? I've probably pissed a faction off slightly. Yeah, I was thinking something was wrong. That can easily be fixed by lowering taxes, I think. What miffed you off? Resource tax alignment. Power. Looks something turned off that shouldn't have. Okay. Okay, so that's reducing revenue by quite a bit, but we can definitely get this under control with the power of adjusting our taxes. Yeah, and that's fine. I don't need the ideologues to be happy. Okay, so that also gets the unrest under control. We're going to have to slow down the expansion a little bit because that's going to shrink the economic growth. Aristocrats are grumpy, that's fine. Separatists are always usually expected to be grumpy, so that's fine. Okay, let's jump back to Mars. And of course, now that I've made everyone happier, I don't need to import as much industry. Because the grumpy technocrats, one of the grumpy factions lowers my industry yield. when they're grumpy. See if I can find my terraformers and see what the progress is. Done? I think they're all done. Oh, my colony is done as well. Yes. Terraform Mars! Terraforming Mars! Massive imports of life from Earth, as well as the construction of genetically engineered colonization organisms, has created a thriving biosphere on Mars. From space, one can see forests, grasslands, oceans, covering what used to be barren wasteland, and Mars can now rightfully be called a habitable world. And then Twitch chat saying, will you shelve the series when you meet the victory conditions? Yes, the plan right now is that this run of Solar Nations obviously ends when we win it. I'll probably swap to a different game. I probably will come back. I think it is tempting to try to do a run where we try to do no war. So start in the other scenario and do a no war scenario, but this run will probably come to a close when we win. I'm not necessarily going to play past victory, per se. But yeah, I think it might be tempting to try to do a sort of a no war run later on with a different start. But here is Red Mars, I think we're even close to the end. Anyway, we just wonderfully completed Terraforming Mars, which now includes farmland everywhere on Mars. So I might be tempted to go around and do a bunch of open air farming. Also bred some chicken. Cool. Get another colony going. First, let's also find the ones that Tunisia. What happened to Tunisia? The Tunisia needs space habitation. I don't think it probably doesn't yet. This is something I inherited from someone else, isn't it? Yeah, well, we'll just give it space habitation anyway so I can forget about it. But you're thinking, fine. You don't have it. We'll build it here anyway, so I can forget about it. I don't think habitation goes over 100%, so stacking more is not helping. Unless some other foreign power goes ahead and nukes Earth a few too many times to unterraform Earth. I think is a mechanic. And then this is the most recent colony, which of course is missing the space habitation, the steel refinery. And then I need to get my next colony. And then, yeah, I think everywhere on Mars now has farmland as a trait. So I can go ahead and drop a bunch of open air farming on Mars just for some productive farmland. Whereas previously we weren't able to. Got enough to pick up the next trait, but we're going to pretty much ignore that until the eras shift and we get the new choice list. So I don't think I have enough to do curry favors on you, no. It's feeling like the spy power is not going up very much, although that's going on. Enemy defenses. I haven't necessarily done a lot to boost our spy power. Oh. Got a collectivist revolt. Let's improve relations with them. If they survive the revolt, we'll deploy next to them. And then, yeah, I think we want to change up a couple of policies in... which tab? tab is it on? Here, yeah, policies. Spending policies. I think we want to raise overspending. No, don't need to fuss with government spending. Welfare is tempting because that's a faction approval. So, spend 1.2 million to be able to raise taxes by like 5% across the board, probably. Which might be worth doing. Okay, let's do that, and I also want to do espionage funding. Okay. And then again, we've just done things that allows me to raise tax rate to sort of offset the increased expenses. Close enough ideologues, I'm actually going to go down on that tax rate to get to 60%. There we go. And then we're going to pause and see if that's actually screwed up the revenue too much. Don't think it has. And I've been ignoring the leaders, which is probably one of the reasons the faction happiness isn't particularly stable. I think probably some of our more skilled, older council members have probably died, replaced with inexperienced youngers. And with that level of stability, I think it is a bit time for war. So, select the nation for diplomacy. Nope. March and Polar Front. Do you have any friends to save you? Quadrilateral Alliance. The American Empire. Venusian United Colonies. Pioneers League. Kingdom of Europa. Oh, so they're actually friendly with one of the people we're trying to integrate in Israel. So if I declare on them, they'll get a bunch of help. Okay. So I'm probably not wanting to move against them right now. I don't want to look for weak people with no friends. Next sort of area we probably want to target is taking bits of the moon we don't have. You have an alliance with the American systems, a bunch of friends. So as I could do is I could look at the wars. What ongoing wars do we have? So we got the Ethiopian Civil War. Got the Iranian Civil War. Tuareg War. And the Greek-American War. Okay. Small wars. Not actually so sure I want to get involved in any of this. Let's... Actually, another place we could terraform at the time would be Venus. Oh, Venus is mostly unowned. Okay. There are people I could fight here. They go after them, but we know they've got allies. Go after... you. You probably have friends. Yeah, you have friends. That's me. United Colonies has... Actually, does the United Colonies have friends? Looks like they don't have friends. Well, the United Colonies is one of the people we're trying to... No, not one of the people we're trying to integrate. Never mind. So yeah, United Colonies is probably the one to go after. They would take stuff on Mars, although apparently I can still... Or I can colonize places on Mars, so we'll hold off on that. Continuing to go across Mercury, so we'll just take more of Mercury. And actually thinking about it, if I'm not going to be conquering people, I should use my stability growth just to run multiple colonies. So, multiple colony time. Still got more stability growth, so we do another one. Not like enter anything, is it? Because that'd be... Oh, it is enter. Gotta remember that. That'll save me some time in the future. Okay, so much more of Mercury comes under our control. Construction-wise, place I missed space habitation. I missed you. So you're also going to want to steal her. I just put that steel refinery in. Okay. And then after that, we're on to resource extraction again, I think. Unless I want us to go to open air farming. So let's do open air farming places. We can do that. Okay. And then at that point, we're back to resource extraction. I'm going to roll the century over and we'll be able to get the next sort of culture trait tree pick. And again, we're going for 2/3, so I think that's probably from this point on, it's definitely doable, fully peaceful in this run. We're just going to continue colonizing. Acclimatization. Nice, so more habitability. In particular, I think that's useful on Mercury. Go pop out to Mercury. Take a look at what the list we finished colonizing. Yeah, we're looking at 46% habitability with the space habitation, with all the technologies, so Mercury is pretty uninhabitable because of, it's Mercury. But 2% here is real good. This affects the population gaps. This affects how many people we can get into Mercury in particular. I'm negative on space fleet capacity. Let's fix that. Builder, I can pretty much guess it's going to be space habitation, steel refinery with the colonies as they finish. Oops, not finished. Just as I was about to click it. Anyway, diplomacy-wise, I'm trying to get the sort of spy situation to get us to the point where we can curry the favors necessarily to do these integrations. Because we're real close, like 48.7. I only need two favors here, and I could grab it. Someone's calling's finished. Construction. And the next location is you. Colonist survey. Build infrastructure. Then next one. Send colonists. Do the survey. Build infrastructure. Run the stability down a little bit more than that, so that's actually... It does get progressively more expensive the faster you're trying to colonize. Or the more locations you're trying to colonize at once. Maybe an argument not to try to colonize too much. And that's also part of the reason I'm space capacity negative, because I'm spending it on these colonies. Yeah, we're up to 63%. I think we started the stream at 50%, and we win at 67%, so making good progress. Okay, expansion, new locations. Send colonists, survey, build the infrastructure, and repeat. And now we're out at Ganymede instead of on Mercury, because again, I have it sorted by availability of iron ore, which is actually getting fairly low. We're getting down into the 4s. So we've grabbed most of the easy and good deposits of iron in the solar system at this point. At least the known ones. A little hard to tell if the prestige is rapidly increasing at this point. I think we may have hit a slight stagnant point here, but we are grabbing much of territory, which should help us with growing faster in the long run, so... Let all but you finish up, I think. Actually, you're going real slow. Move on to someone else in the meantime. Okay. And construction, space habitats in those places. And the steel refineries go with them. Infrastructure is max. No. Give me that infrastructure. Let's get more colonies going. Animate stable orbit. And now we're back on Venus, and we're going to colonize some of the unclaimed portions of Venus. Okay, and let's get into deficit spending to raise the economy. There's maybe an argument that resource extraction isn't super beneficial. It's a little bit hard to evaluate the resource extraction, especially as it gets more expensive, because it's a percentile modifier on existing stuff. Although we're looking at places like here where it's saying it's going to generate 2,000 revenue, which in theory means it pays back in 2 years. So. Spend like that, and we'll let time pass again. Some of these places are slower colonizing. I think it might be based on how many people are willing to move to a location and how big the area is. So that one's going pretty fast because it's small. This one's actually fairly big, so it's fat or it's slow, etc. Okay, we got 2 colonies done, so let's get their space habitation going and their steel refineries going. Let's get some replacement colonies going for those ones. Again, I have more than 100 stability, so we're going to spend it getting colonies faster. And I think the progress on... Oh, actually, the progress on these is capped out at like 23, so we're not going to get to 25 on you because of my bad spy master and their high defense. So diplomatic expansion may be coming to a pretty hard close here at this point, unless I get... well, I could probably go fishing for... There's probably another culture trait that gives another +5 opinion. Go fishing for another 5. That would help. Cold to war. Chinese-Cantonese War. Republic of South China, so that's probably a breakaway in Taiwan, I would guess. No, that is not Taiwan. Breakaway in Yunnan. I think they can handle the breakaway state without any actual help. So, I don't have intercontinence, so I got nothing over there. Let's get a few more colonies going. I think we'll bring this part to a close. I think this one's about 1 more part. Okay. And yeah, so we're getting told that other people may be willing to join the ongoing war. If other people do join the war, I will probably hit smack the resolve war button here because Republic of South China wants the war to be over already. I just suspect that China, Beijing government should be able to finish the war without any help here. Anyway, we're up to 64%. I suspect the current rate of prestige gain relative to everyone else that we should probably slip properly into victory status in the next one. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow. The next part up tomorrow may be the last part in this run, in which case we'll swap over to a different game for the rest of the stream. I am planning on probably playing Solar Nations 2 again, starting up a new run. Although I think I'll probably try the other scenario, and I'll try to do, because what I'm thinking I'm going to try to do is try to win without any war, completely without any war. This one, obviously, we had a bunch of war to integrate the Red Planet under mostly one government. We left the North Pole independent. But yeah, we'll probably try to do like a technocrat sort of escape to the solar system in the next run. But I'll probably put a game between the two runs, so there'll be a gap between the two Solar Nation runs on the channel. If you're interested in seeing the next part. So if you're watching on YouTube, expect the part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to take a short break here so we get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea, and then I think we will try to blitz through the remaining 3-4% of prestige. Although, the bigger our prestige gets, the bigger it actually has to sort of get, proportionally speaking, to crowd everyone else's prestige out, because it is not that we need to get 3% more of what we've got, or we need to get a 3% larger share, if that makes sense. And everyone else, in theory, is probably also growing their economies, which also means their prestige is going up as well. So, I think it is doable. In fact, it probably is doable at this point just by me deploying more army. We've got another 14,000. Well, actually, technically, I think the unit in here is 1,000, so I think that might actually be 14 million more troops we can deploy. So we might do that near the end of the next one if we haven't won by the end of the next one, just to get the prestige up and see if that's enough to win. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.